the Cultural Arts Ministry's production of Crowns for the Queen. It has been a wonderful odyssey that we have begun with the Cultural Arts Ministry, trying to bring cultural arts from a Christian perspective to the city, not just to Little Rock, but to the entire region. And we thank God because we're seeing more and more faces that we've never seen before, and I'm just excited about what God is doing. So I thank you all for coming out on tonight. I thank you for your presence and for your spirit to even want to come. We're going to go ahead and get started, and I want to ask you now just to sit back, relax, and get ready to enjoy yourselves in this happy, marvelous evening. Will you do that for me? Right now.
seamstress and how you used to make hats for Vivian and yourself, and live in a very affluent area, but we did the affluent things. You tonight. They don't have to excuse me because all this is such a surprise to me.
But that's all right. That's what Mrs. Green wanted it to be. So I'm going to say to you, we are so happy for you to be a part of our church family. And from you, we've learned so much, and we respect you so much. And in that process, we wear our hats, we wear our gloves, our stockings, and our everything for our church and in this community. You were an educator. You were excellent in that process. You taught out at UNCC. You headed the math program. You were a Sunday school teacher. You were a Sunday school superintendent. I think you sang a little bit in the choir.
The first thing I did is join the choir.
Yes.
I could tell a lot of things.
Sure. But we're just happy that we were able to spend this amount of time with you and for you to share with the young people here and those who are seniors who came out just to see you and just to honor you on this wonderful evening. God be the glory for the things that you have done. Let's give her.
Dedicated to you. It talks about a little bird. A lot of times people look at it as an unassuming bird, a sparrow, but it's the only bird that God really mentions special. His eyes on the sparrow, and I know He watches me. Why should I feel discouraged? And why should the shadows come? Why should my heart feel lonely and long for heaven and home? If Jesus is my portion, a constant friend is He. His eye is on the sparrow, and I know He watches me. His eye is on the sparrow, and I know He watches me. Let not your heart be troubled. His tender word I hear, and trusting in His goodness, I lose all doubt and fear. When through the pathway He leadeth, but one step I may be, His eye is on the sparrow, and I know He watches me. His eye is on the sparrow, sing.